Good morning, children. How are you all? I hope all of you are doing well. Coming to lecture 2 of Mathematics Class 8, Chapter 8, Comparing Quantities. This is your lecture 2 of Chapter 8, Comparing Quantities. In this lecture, we shall review in detail about profit and loss, and profit and loss. Under this, we have to deal with selling price, cost price, profit percentage, and loss percentage. These are the key points of today's lecture, or the topics which we'll be covering in this lecture number 2. Let us revise what we have studied in the previous lecture. We have studied about percentage. What do you mean by a percentage? It is a special fraction in which denominator is always 100. What is a percentage? What do you mean by a percentage? If I am saying I need to find the percentage of a number, I mean to say that I need to find the fraction of that particular number. Basically, percentage is a special fraction in which denominator is always 100. It is denoted by symbol, this percentage symbol. This is the symbol of percentage we have seen yesterday in the previous lecture. So this is the symbol of percentage. Now after this, what we have learned? We have learned how to convert a percentage into a fraction, then converting a percentage into a ratio, then we have learned how to convert a percentage into a decimal, and vice versa, that is converting a decimal into a percentage. Then we have studied about the percentage increase or decrease. I told you one formula to find the percentage increase or percentage decrease. This is the formula. You are supposed to use this formula to find percentage increase or decrease. Percentage increase formula is given by increase in value over original value into 100%. If it is percentage decrease, then you will be taking decrease in value over original value into 100%. Then we have learned how to express one quantity as percentage of the other quantity. I hope all these topics are clear to you, and in this lecture we shall review the homework solutions of the previous lecture also at the end of this lecture number 2. Now coming to today's topic, we will deal here in this lecture about profit and loss. Children, there are basically two prices which are related to an item. Those prices are selling price and cost price. Whenever you go to a shop, then basically you and the other person who is the shopkeeper, both of you are dealing with two types of prices, that is selling price and cost price. Now let us see what is this selling price and what is this cost price. Selling price is the price at which an article is sold by a dealer. So what do you mean by a selling price? The price at which an article is sold by a dealer is called selling price, that is SP. It can be written in short as SP. So the selling price, what do you mean by selling price? As the name indicates, the price at which an article is sold out by a dealer is called a selling price or SP. In short, we can write as S.P, that is selling price SP. Now, next we will talk about cost price. Cost price, what do you mean by cost price? As the name indicates, the price at which an article is purchased by a dealer is called its cost price, or that is C.P. In short, you can write down C.P, that is CP. So basically we deal with two types of prices, or prices related to an item are selling price and cost price. What do you mean by selling price? The price at which an article is sold by a dealer is called selling price, that is S.P. You can write in short. Cost price, the price at which an article is purchased by a dealer is called cost price, or you can write down that C.P. I hope all these prices are very much clear to you. All these terms are clear to you. Then another term which is of our main concern is profit. What do you mean by profit? If selling price of an article is more than its cost price, then the dealer makes a profit. If the selling price of an article is more than its cost price, then the dealer makes a profit. For example, if you are purchasing an article for rupees 100 and you are selling an article to someone for rupees 120, then in this case selling price of an article is more than its cost price. You have purchased the article for rupees 100 but you are selling it out for rupees 120, then definitely you will be having a profit. So what will be the profit? It will be of 20 rupees. Simple as this. So if the selling price of an article is more than its cost price, then the dealer makes a profit. Then coming to profit, as I told you, SP, that is selling price minus cost price. Because why we are subtracting cost price from selling price? Because selling price was greater in case of profit than the cost price. So selling price minus cost price will give you profit. Coming to loss, if selling price of an article is less than its cost price, that is selling price of an article is less than its cost price, then the dealer suffers a loss. For example, if you are purchasing an article for rupees 100 and if you are selling the same article to your friend or to anyone for rupees 80, in that case cost price that was rupees 100, selling price is rupees 80, and in this case selling price is less than its cost price, then you will be having a loss of rupees 20. So loss, what do you mean by loss? How will you define loss? If selling price of an article is less than its cost price, then the dealer suffers a loss. Or loss is equal to cost price minus selling price, because cost price was greater. You have purchased an article for rupees 100 but you are selling it for rupees 80, so cost price minus selling price will give you loss. So profit is equal to selling price minus cost price, loss is equal to cost price minus selling price. Now in short I have written here, if SP is greater than CP, that is selling price is greater than cost price, then it is profit. That is, if SP, that is selling price, is greater than CP, that is cost price, then it is profit. If SP is equal to CP, then it is neither profit nor loss. That is, if both are same, if you are purchasing an article for rupees 100 and if you are selling the same article for rupees 100, then it will be neither profit nor loss. Then if CP is greater than SP, that is cost price is greater than selling price, that is SP, then it is loss. So if CP is greater than SP, that is selling price is greater than SP, then it will be a loss. So if SP is greater than CP, then it is profit. If SP is equal to CP, then it is neither profit nor loss. If CP is greater than SP, then it is loss. Now from this you can also, it will be clear to you, profit and loss. If rupees 600 is the SP of an article and CP is rupees 500, then this 600 is definitely greater than rupees 500. So SP is greater than CP, then it will be profit. And in another case, if CP is 500 and 600 is the SP, then CP is greater than SP, then it will be a loss. Okay, if you are purchasing an article for rupees 500 but you are selling it for rupees 600, then loss will be there because CP is greater than SP and loss will be there. Then profit percentage, if you are supposed to find out the profit percentage, then which formula you will be using? Directly you will be writing profit in the numerator and CP, that is cost price, in the denominator, multiply it by 100%, then you will be getting profit percent. I need to find out profit percent. So profit in the numerator, cost price in the denominator into 100% will give you profit percent. And one more thing, profit percent and loss percent, they are always calculated on the cost price, that is CP. Let us see the formula of loss percentage. Here in this case, loss percentage we need to find out, that will be loss over cost price, that is CP into 100%. So to find profit percentage, this formula you will be using. To find loss percentage, this formula you will be using. So profit percentage is given by profit over CP into 100%. Loss percentage is given by loss over CP, that is cost price, into 100%. So I am telling you one formula which relates SP, that is selling price, CP, that is cost price, and profit percent. So children, if you know how to find out one unknown quantity out of these three, if two are given to you and one you are supposed to calculate, if you know, then you can use your way. Otherwise, those who are unable to do it in an easy manner, then they can use this formula which I am going to tell you. So this is the formula relating SP, CP and profit percent. If any one of them is unknown to us, then we can use this formula. So let us see how we will proceed. If there is a profit of P percent, if the profit is P percent, then SP is equal to CP plus profit. We know this. We have learned that profit is equal to SP minus CP. Then from there you can write down SP is equal to CP plus profit. CP plus P percent of CP, because profit is given to you as P percent. So we have written CP plus P percent of CP. In place of profit, we have written profit percent of CP. As I told you, profit and loss are always calculated on the cost price, that is CP. Then after that, it will be P percent, and we know that if percent sign is given, then percentage is a special fraction in which denominator is always 100. So we have written like P over 100 of CP. Then after that, we have taken CP common, because CP, here it is also present, here it is also present. From this expression we have taken CP common. So it will be 1 plus P over 100 into CP. Then SP is equal to 1 plus P over 100 of CP. Simple as this. So the first step is I have taken it profit as P percent. In a general manner we need to deal with the formula. So we have taken profit is equal to P percent. Then putting the values of profit, that is P percent, in this second step. Then P as percentage sign is given. Then you are supposed to write down P over 100. P percent can be written as P over 100. Then 1 plus P over 100 into CP. Then SP is given by the formula. SP is equal to 1 plus P over 100 into CP. This is the formula between profit percent, SP and CP. Okay. After that, if I will be solving the bracket, then I have taken the LCM here, 100. So it will be 100 plus P over 100 into CP. After that, SP, or if I need to find the formula in terms of CP, then what I need to do, this SP will be multiplied by CP on the other side, and 100 plus P will be the denominator. So this is the formula in terms of CP. In the previous slide we have seen the formula in terms of SP. Now coming to the formula relating SP, CP and loss percent. We need to find the formula now between SP, CP and loss percent. So how will we will proceed? Again, if there is a loss of L percent, in that previous case we have taken profit as P percent. Here we need to deduce the formula between SP, CP and loss percent. So we have taken loss as L percent. Then we know that SP is equal to CP minus loss. So in place of loss we have written loss percent, that is L percent of CP here in this step. So after that, CP minus L over 100. As I told you earlier, that percentage sign is given, so it will be L over 100 of CP. Then we have taken Cp common as we have done in the previous formula, 1 minus L over 100 of Cp. Then the formula will be Sp is equal to 1 minus L over 100 into Cp. So this is the formula. Now if I need to find the formula in terms of Cp, how will I do? Now let us see. I need to solve the bracket as we have done in the previous case. So after solving the bracket, it will be Sp is equal to 100 minus L over 100 into Cp. Then it will be Cp is equal to Sp into 100 over 100 minus L. So this is the formula. In case of loss percent, Sp and Cp, this is the formula in terms of Cp. If I need to find the formula in terms of Sp, then we have seen in the previous slide. So children, it is not mandatory that you are supposed to use this formula. If you know the way to calculate any one unknown quantity, then you can use your way, or if you are unable to do that way in an easy manner, then you can use these formulas. So let us see now homework part. Homework from NCERT book you are supposed to complete. Question 6 of exercise 8.1 in homework notebook, and question 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 of exercise 8.2 in your homework notebook. So exercise 8.1 question 6 was left, so you are supposed to complete that. And from exercise 8.2 question number 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 of exercise 8.2 in your homework notebook. Now coming to homework solutions of NCERT exercise 8.1. First question was, find the ratio of the following. We are supposed to find the ratio of the given parts. First part is speed of the cycle 15 km per hour to the speed of the scooter 30 km per hour. First of all, before taking the ratio, as we have discussed in the previous lecture, that the units must be same, and in this case speed of cycle is given to you in kilometer per hour. Speed of the scooter is also given to you in kilometer per hour. So both the units are same. So let us see, speed of a cycle is 15 km per hour. Speed of the scooter is 30 km per hour. Then we need to take the ratio. Simple as this. It will be 15 over 30. That will give you 1 over 2. That is 1:2, or 1:2 will be the answer. Coming to second part, given data is 5 meter to 10 kilometer. Here the point here to note is this is in meters and this is in kilometers. So the unit of these two are not same, and we can compare the quantities only when the units are same. So we need to make their units same first and then they take their ratio. So 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. Everyone knows this. So therefore 10 kilometer is equal to 10 into 1000, that will be 10,000 meters. We have converted into meters, or you can convert 5 meter to kilometer also, that is up to you. Then 5 meter to 10 kilometer we are supposed to take the ratio. It will be 5 meter to 10,000 meters because we have converted 10 kilometer into meters. Then 5 over 10,000, that will give you 1:2000. So this will be your answer. Coming to third part, this is 50 paise to 5 rupees. Again, here this is 50 paise to rupees 5. Here the ratio, the units are again different. And we know that quantities can be compared only when the units are same. And we know 1 rupee is equal to 100 paise. So converting this 500 rupees 5 into paise, that will be 500 paise. Then it will be 50 paise to rupees 5. Then we need to take the ratio like this, simple as this. Directly we will be dividing these two and answer will be 1:10. Simple as this. I hope all these three parts are clear to you. Coming to question number 2. Convert the following ratios to percentage. Children, we have I have explained this topic with the help of an example. So here only I have taken one part of this question. The other part you are supposed to do it on your own. The part is 3:4. We need to convert this part, that is 3:4 into percentage. So how we will do? 3 over 4, 3:4 can be written as 3 over 4. Then I need to convert it into percentage. So I will be multiplying it by 100%, and after solving the answer will be 75%. After cancelling out, your answer will be 75%. Second part you are supposed to do it on your own. I hope you will be able to do that part. Coming to question number 3. 72% of 25 students are interested in mathematics. How many are not interested in mathematics? The question is, here few percentage of 25 students, 72% of 25 students are interested in mathematics, and you are supposed to find out how many are not interested in mathematics. So let us see how we will proceed. Percentage of the students who are not interested in mathematics. First of all, what I have done here, 100 minus 72%. These are the percentage. This is the percentage of the students who are not interested in mathematics. Then, because percentage is a special ratio that compares any quantity to 100 with 100 representing one whole. Because 100 represents the whole, so out of that 72% were interested in mathematics. So I have calculated the percentage of the students who are not interested in mathematics, that will be 28%. Therefore, the number of students who are not good in mathematics are, it will be 28% of 25. Okay, so number of students who are not good in mathematics are 28% of 25. So that will be equal to 28 over 100 into 25, and after cancelling 25 over 100 you will be getting 28 over 4. So the answer will be 7. So the total number of students who are not interested in mathematics are 7. Next question is question number 4, that is a football team won 10 matches. Out of the total matches they played 10 matches, they won 10 matches. If their win percentage was 40, and then how many matches did they play in all? In this case, their total number of matches they won is given to us, that is 10, and their win percentage is also given to us, that is 40. So we need to find out the number of matches they played in all. So let us see how we will solve it. Let the total number of matches they played is equal to y. We have taken total matches they played is equal to y. Then 40% of y is equal to 10, as this was their 1 percentage. 1 percentage, how many their 1 percentage is given to us, and this is the total number of matches they won. So it will be 40% over of y is equal to 10. Then it will be 40 over 100, as percentage sign is there. So it will be 40 over 100 into y, that is equal to 10. And after solving you will be getting y is equal to 10 into 100 over 40, that is equal to 25. So the total number of matches played by football team is 25. So in this case what we have done, we have taken the total number of matches as y. Then according to the question we have written the equation as 40% of y is equal to 10, because 10 are the number of matches which they have won. And then 40, as it is given to you as percentage, then it will be 40 over 100 into y, that is equal to 10. Then y will be, this 100 will be shifted to that side, it will be 10 into 100 over 40. After cancelling out it will be 25. So the total number of matches played by football team is 25, and this is the required answer. Coming to question number 5. If Chameli had rupees 600 left after spending, 600 is the amount left after spending 75% of her money, how much did she have in the beginning? We need to find out the money which Chameli was having in the beginning. Let us see. Let the total amount of Chameli had with her in the beginning is rupees x. We have taken it x. Then since the whole is considered as 100%, that girl has spent 75%. So how much money will be left with her? It will be 100 minus 75%, that will be 25%. And we know that rupees 600 was left with her. This is the percentage of the left money we have calculated. Now it is very simple. So how we will do? 25% of x, x was the total amount, that will give you, that will be equal to 600. So 25 was the percentage left we have calculated, x was the total amount which she was having. and 600 was the money which she was having, which she was having after spending 75% of her money. Then simple, 25% was there, so we have taken 25 over 100 into x is equal to 600. Then it will be 600 into 100. This 100 will be shifted in the numerator on the other side and divided by 25, so it will be 2400. So the amount that Chameli had in the beginning was rupees 2400. I hope all these 5 questions are clear to you. So children, today we have learnt the concept of profit and loss. We have learnt about SPs and CP. SP is the price at which an article is sold by a dealer. CP is the price at which an article is purchased by a dealer. And we have learnt about profit and loss. If SP of an article is more than its cost price, then the dealer makes a profit. And if SP of an article is less than its cost price, then the dealer suffers a loss. And we have learnt the formula of profit percent, SP and CP, loss percent, SP and CP. And we have revised, or we have seen the homework solutions of exercise 8.1 also. Children, I hope you will be now capable enough to solve the questions of exercise 8.2 based on the concepts taught in this lecture number 2. Thank you so much.